Hello, users. Welcome back to Above It All, Weekend Edition. And I normally don't do videos on the weekend, but a lot of I think, very awful things happened over the last, 16 hours. And so I'm doing videos on the weekend now. I can't wait until Monday to talk about this. This is too important. And so I'm just going to read this whole article. I was originally going to do the highlight thing, but the article is not that long, and I think just reading the whole thing is just going to be for the best. Community members question initial impression of suicide after black man found hanged at Palmdale Park. If you've followed me for any period of time, 2 days, 2 months, 2 weeks, you'll know that cops lie. They always lie. They're trained to lie. I made videos probably 5 or 6 times over the past week or two of cops just lying. That's what they're paid to do. They lie. That's their job. That is in their job description. Lie as much as possible. That is in their job description. So when police rule a lynching as a suicide, come on. The death of a 24-year-old black man found hanged from a tree in Palmdale on Wednesday was initially being investigated as an apparent suicide, but many in the community are raising questions about what happened to him. Robert L. Fuller was pronounced dead shortly after a passerby spotted him hanging from a tree at Pontcitlan Square in between Palmdale City Hall and Los Angeles County Fire Department Station. Although the investigation is ongoing, it appears Mr. Fuller tragically committed suicide. Captain Ron Schaefer, who's never heard of this person in their life before whatsoever and knows nothing about them, is saying, with the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department, told a group of community members gathered for a news conference at Palmdale City Hall on Friday afternoon. The room immediately erupted into angry comments. Shouts of, "That's a lie," could be heard. While an official cause of death has yet to be determined, the initial impression of sheriff's homicide investigators and Los Angeles County Department of Medical Examiners were that the death was a suicide. A full autopsy is anticipated in the immediate future, the sheriff's department said in a written statement. Reminder, they've got a monopoly on this stuff. What did George Floyd autopsy say? Right, that he had pre-existing conditions. And then George Floyd's family got an independent autopsy that said straight up he died from asphyxiation. Don't let the cops do autopsies. They will never do it correctly. They will always lie. They are there to lie. That whole crew of people is constructed to lie. The industry, the fucking entire institution is there to oppress you. They're not telling the truth. Never trust a cop. If a cop is saying something to you, always presume the opposite is true. Get another coroner, one person could be heard saying. So why would you put out a public statement saying it was possibly a suicide if you don't have all the answers? Another asked. Family members and members of the community called for an independent autopsy and demanded to see surveillance camera footage from a nearby fire station and other public facilities. It wasn't no suicide. He didn't kill himself. He was not that type of person. Cousin Robert Boyer told KTLA. He was a good kid. He graduated high school. Very loving. He came from a supportive family. We love Robert dearly, cousin Deborah Lemley said. And he didn't get into trouble at all. He was a sweet young man. Many took to social media to raise concerns about Fuller's death and the investigation into it. Sheriff's officers said the investigation has not concluded. Investigators have been in contact with Mr. Fuller's family and are continuing their investigation into the circumstances surrounding Mr. Fuller's death. According to the Sheriff's Department statement, if you can, always try to get a private investigator. Always try to go independent. Autopsies. Anything you can that's not directly related to the police. GoFundMe. Do whatever you can to raise those funds because the cops are not there to help you. and it's just disgusting. Just reading this makes me want to fucking cry. It's awful. Fuller's younger sister, Diamond Alexander, told to Facebook Thursday to share her grief and ask anyone with information to come forward. "Words can't describe how much my family is hurting," she wrote. "Today we just got word that Robert's body was found hanging in a tree outside in Palmdale. It's still under investigation. If anyone has seen anything, please come forward. Brother, you will be forever in our heart. Rest in peace. My little brother died alone," she wrote, alongside a picture of the park. "Please keep us in prayers." A fund established online to help Fuller's family with the cost of burial has garnered more than $105,000 as of Friday afternoon. Anyone with information should not call the fucking sheriff. Never call the sheriff. Call the family directly. Get involved with their lawyers. Do not call the sheriff. Fuck the news. The news always takes cops at their word. Fuck the news, okay? Never call the sheriff with information. You want to call this person's family, find their lawyers, and then send them any information, because the cops are only going to abuse that information. I covered this story where they killed a black man. Police killed a black man on a live reality TV show. And the family did not know that it was on a live TV show. All they knew is that they died in police custody for a year. And then the footage got released. And I don't know really how it got released. I think it's just someone put it out there. Imagine being told by the cops that your child was killed in police custody, or just died. Not killed, died. It's like, oh, well, imagine saying that, and then a year later, after maybe you're starting to recover, you find out that they were killed on a reality TV show, and hundreds of people, including a camera crew, watched it all happen and kept it a secret from you. Imagine that. Cops are never on your side. They're always going to hurt you. They're always going to lie to you. They're always going to do their best to maximize damage to human life and to minimize damage to their personal property and their families, and rich people's personal property and families. They don't care about you. They're there to kill you. They're an occupying terrorist organization. It wouldn't surprise me if a cop was the one who did it. Would not be surprised. But yeah, it's just... Here's the video. I don't know how... 46 minutes.
You need to know the truth. We don't care about the others right now. We need to know what happened here. Amen. Let the man know what happened here, and how a suicide can be determined. How can a suicide and a homicide be determined differently? If you don't know all the answers, if you don't know his mental health, if you don't know his history, how is that determined a suicide? Does he behave differently?
I clicked on a good part.
From the coroner, and until we get that answer, the man has been killed. Right. We don't know how. Right. It's a possible homicide. It is a homicide.
I'll let that speak for itself. I clicked on a really good part. I'm pretty impressed with that. But again, the news always doing this. The news always takes them at their word. Fuck mainstream media. You have to do this on your own. You've got no allies other than, the people in your community. Like, the news isn't there to help you. They're there to hurt you. Social media, on the other hand, there you go. Cops are not there to help you. They're there to hurt you. Politicians aren't there to help you. They're there to hurt you. Unbelievable. I'm sick of this shit. Makes me fucking sick.